Let's go Broncos! The Denver Broncos are just one win away from the Super Bowl, and what's happening behind the scenes might shock even the most die-hard fans. I've uncovered some important details, some of which the national media hasn't even mentioned yet, that could change your perspective on this AFC Championship matchup against the New England Patriots. There's tension, there's strategy, and there are serious doubts surrounding both quarterbacks. But before I reveal everything, do your part, like this post if you're a die-hard Broncos fan, and leave a comment saying, "Go Broncos!" In 2026, we'll be back stronger if you believe this team is what it takes to win the title. Now let's get to it, because what I'm about to tell you could be the difference between disappointment and a trip to the biggest stage in American football. Alright, let's get straight into it. With the AFC Championship game looming, the Denver Broncos are preparing for a clash against the New England Patriots, and folks, this isn't just another game. The winner punches a ticket to the Super Bowl, and based on what we're hearing, the Broncos might be walking into this one with more firepower and momentum than many expected. Let's start with the biggest storyline heading into this showdown, the Patriots quarterback situation. Drake May has been a bit of a mixed bag this postseason. On one hand, the kid's got raw talent, no doubt about it. But on the other, 6 fumbles in 2 playoff games? That's not just a stat, that's a liability. And we're not talking about elite defenses like Denver's in those games. If May struggled against Houston and the Chargers, what's going to happen when he's staring down Nick Benito, Jonathan Cooper, and Zach Allen? This Denver pass rush is no joke, and Patriots insiders are nervous, especially about the left side of their offensive line, where 2 rookies, Wilson and Will Campbell, have been struggling hard. Will Campbell, in particular, has been getting lit up in recent games and has a rough PFF grade of 16.5 over the last 2 matchups. That's a glaring weak spot, and you better believe Vance Joseph is drawing up blitz packages right now to exploit that mismatch. Let's not forget, this Denver defense isn't just about pressure. They're stacked on the back end too. Pat Certain is, without question, the best cornerback in the NFL right now, and the Patriots don't have a legitimate WR1 that can challenge him. Some in New England want to hype up Stephon Diggs or rookie Kayshon Boutte, but with Certain locking down the perimeter and Pop Douglas being more of a slot threat, this passing game could get very one-dimensional very fast. Now, switching gears to the Patriots' run game, it's arguably their biggest offensive asset. Ramondre Stevenson and Trayvon Henderson are a dangerous 1-2 punch, especially when the O-line gets a push. Stevenson has bounced back from early season fumbling issues and has become a versatile threat out of the backfield. Henderson, meanwhile, is that explosive type who can take it to the house if he finds daylight. But there's the rub, that push from the offensive line? It's not likely to come easy against the Broncos front that's been owning the trenches lately. Defensively, the Patriots do pose some challenges. Their secondary, especially with Carlton Davis and Christian Gonzalez, has been lights out in the playoffs, neither giving up a touchdown, and each keeping receivers under 60 yards. Davis, in particular, has 2 interceptions in the postseason. But here's the catch. Carlton Davis is currently in concussion protocol, and while he might be trending toward playing, his status is still up in the air. That could be a huge blow for New England if he doesn't clear in time. Then, there's the quarterback situation for Denver. With Bo Nix still out, Jarrett Stidham is getting the nod. And here's where things get spicy. Stidham was originally drafted by the Patriots, so they know him well. But as Sean Payton mentioned this week, knowing a player doesn't mean you know how he's going to be used. Stidham is not the dual threat that Bo Nix is, he's more of a traditional pocket passer. And while the Broncos have allowed the fewest sacks in the NFL this season, that's been largely due to Nix's mobility. If Stidham can't roll out and extend plays the same way, it'll be a true test of this offensive line's pass protection. But if there's one thing this Broncos team has shown down the stretch, it's resilience. Beating the Bills was a statement. And now, with altitude advantage, extra rest, and a defensive unit that's forced turnovers at a higher clip over the last few weeks, Denver looks primed to make Drake May as uncomfortable as he's ever been. There's also buzz starting to build about a potential Bo Nix return for the Super Bowl. Nothing confirmed yet, but a few doctors are saying it's within the realm of possibility. Just imagine the spark that could bring. This isn't just a playoff game, it's a statement opportunity. The Broncos have all the tools, a defense that hits hard and forces mistakes, an offense that's finding its rhythm under Sean Payton, and a team that seems to be peaking at just the right time. And here's where things really start to heat up. Because while a lot of the national media continues to downplay what the Broncos are building, inside the league, coaches and analysts who've actually studied the tape know this Denver defense isn't just opportunistic, it's suffocating. And going into the AFC Championship, that's exactly what it needs to be. Drake May, for all the hype, has proven time and again that he doesn't handle pressure well. He holds onto the ball too long, tries to extend plays that aren't there, and more often than not, that leads to a fumble or a drive-killing sack. Now throw that rookie QB into Empower Field at Mile High, dealing with the altitude, the noise, the Broncos pass rush, and the weight of a Super Bowl trip on the line. This is a pressure cooker like nothing he's seen before. And we haven't even touched on how locked in Vance Joseph has this defense right now. Turnovers are coming in waves. Whether it's Jonathan Cooper ripping through the edge, Benito bending around the tackle, or PJ Locke jumping a route, this is the kind of defense that doesn't just slow you down, it takes the ball from you. But don't overlook the chess match happening on the sideline. Sean Payton has been surgical in adjusting his offensive approach without Bo Nix. With Stidham at QB, the Broncos have shifted into a more controlled passing game, less RPO, more play action, and a stronger emphasis on keeping the pocket clean. And credit where it's due, this offensive line has been phenomenal, not just in protection, but in discipline. Few penalties, few busted assignments, it's been a tight unit. The wrinkle? The Patriots' defensive interior. Christian Barmore and Milton Williams, especially, are a problem. Both have the explosiveness to collapse the pocket from the inside, and if there's a way to disrupt Stidham, that's it. The key will be how Lloyd Cushenberry and the interior trio hold up against that pressure. If they can give Stidham that extra second, you're looking at receivers like Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy going to work on a banged-up Patriots secondary, especially if Carlton Davis can't go. Now let's circle back to that Patriots offense. We already talked about the run game and Drake May's pocket issues, but there's another angle here that's worth calling out. The Patriots have been relying on a couple of big plays each game to flip momentum. Against the Chargers, it was a deep shot to Hunter Henry. Against the Texans, it was a slant route to Pop Douglas who beat man coverage. But those windows are going to be a lot tighter this weekend. Why? Because Denver's secondary isn't just good, it's disciplined. Pat Certain shuts down half the field. That means every time Drake May drops back, his reads are cut in half. And with May already hesitant to make quick decisions, that's a dangerous combination. Then there's Stephon Diggs. Some Patriots fans still believe he's the guy. But let's be honest, his production has been inconsistent all year, and the off-field stuff? Let's not even get started. The Broncos have done a good job keeping distractions out of the locker room this season, and with Certain likely to shadow Diggs all game, this could be another frustrating outing for him. Also worth mentioning, New England hasn't really faced a complete team like this Denver squad in the playoffs. The Chargers were injured and out of sync. The Texans had a strong defense but a young offense that struggled under playoff pressure. The Broncos bring both. A top-tier defense that's hungry for turnovers and an offense that's quietly getting more efficient every week, even without their star rookie quarterback. And don't overlook the intangible edge here, experience. Sean Payton has been here before. He's won a Super Bowl. He knows how to manage a locker room, game plan for a young quarterback, and pull every ounce of talent out of a roster when it counts. Josh McDaniels? Let's just say he's got a lot more to prove, especially in big moments. The final X factor could be Jarrett Stidham himself. Yes, he hasn't started a playoff game before. Yes, it's been 2 years since he's been a starter. But don't underestimate what a motivated quarterback with something to prove can do in front of a roaring home crowd. Stidham has familiarity with the Patriots system, but the Patriots also have familiarity with him, and that can cut both ways. Sean Payton has likely been scheming for weeks on how to use that to his advantage, putting Stidham in positions where the defense thinks they know what's coming, only to get burned by a counter. And just imagine, Broncos country, what if this team, counted out by everyone midseason, pulls off the upset, wins the AFC, and gets a potential Bo Nix return for the Super Bowl? That's the kind of storybook finish this city deserves. If you believe, if you're riding with this team all the way to the Super Bowl, drop a comment below. Let me know, do you think Jarrett Stidham can lead us to the promised land? And if Bo Nix is cleared, would you start him in the Super Bowl? Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and stick around. There's another video on screen now breaking down Bo Nix's injury timeline and what doctors are saying about a possible return. Go Broncos!